Oh my goodness, it's already been a morning. It's January 24th. It is Tuesday. I've been already responding to comments on my TikTok videos. Folks are on one today and just like knee-jerk reactions with like uninformed opinions where they're holier than thou and talking down to folks. And it's just a little FYI. I always have receipts. It's actually a trauma response that I always have proof of what I'm saying because I get told that I'm wrong a lot, even when I'm not. Yes, it's in my astrology that this happens all the time. Also, I don't know if I'm more irritated by that or if I'm more irritated by the people that are still trying to live in Delulu land and ignore what's actually happening around us. But today's one of them days. The moon is void. It's been void since early yesterday morning before any of us really woke up, actually. And it'll be void until about 9:45 tonight, which means can't really get anything done. This is more of a time to kind of close out other things, really finish up stories. It's a time to think about how we want to start fresh with the new moon that we have tomorrow morning. This new moon is in Cancer, and today we have the Sun and Jupiter in a conjunction in Cancer. So really think about how are you starting fresh when it comes to things like home, family, your emotional state, your empathy and compassion and nurturing abilities. This is happening in an inconjunct to Pluto. So Pluto, the collective destruction, that inconjunct is taking a different direction. So whatever, all the stuff happening out in the world, hopefully it's getting y'all to realize that maybe it's time to start focusing on simpler things. I'm focusing more on family, community, and just starting fresh from a space of emotional fulfillment instead of that more like financial fulfillment. We've got to readjust our idea of what abundance means. Things are changing and they're going to continue to change, and it's time that we get realistic about that. Now, the moon is technically in a square to the nodes today. Actually, right now as I make this is really all about feeling pulled in every direction, number one. Trying to make that decision. It's a little crossroads type of energy where you have to make a decision between like trying to control every little detail versus learning how to go with the flow. You still want to plan. We still want to make sure that we are being realistic about planning for the future, but we need to leave space in those plans to be able to go with the flow as things continue to change. And of course, the moon is being ruled by Mercury in Cancer. They're in mutual reception right now. So you might find yourself in a little bit more of a compassionate mind space, really kind of going with the flow a little more here. So think about this. How do you want to start fresh when it comes to home and family and your emotional state and things of that nature? And today there's a really big spotlight being shown on that. And a lot of people are going to call this the luckiest day of the year, the Sun-Jupiter conjunction. That really depends on your natal chart. It'll feel lucky, but if it's making a direct aspect to your chart anyway, it will feel lucky, but it depends on your natal Jupiter. Mine is very harshly aspected, so even when things go right, they still somehow go horrendously wrong. So just keep that in mind. That depends on your natal chart. So cards for the day for the collective. What is the energy for the collective? We have Ace of Pentacles. So planting that seed, that Sun-Jupiter conjunction, planting that seed of stability. Cancer really likes to be stable. I know we talk about how Cancer is a little feisty, but it's really stable until you push it too far. But we're planting that new seed where we really want to think about where we're comfortable. What does abundance really truly mean to you? What does the collective need to focus on today? What does the collective need to focus on? That was trying to come out, and that was the Death card. That transformation. We're letting the old things end. Like I said, we're closing out this moon cycle. We are in that void moon. Keep in mind that when the moon is void, especially in Gemini, you could feel really floaty and like all over the place. Your mind might be racing a lot. Just keep that in mind. I was struggling yesterday. I kept forgetting what I was doing. It was so weird. But close out those things. Let what needs to end. Start preparing for this transformation that we're going through here. But what to avoid? What does the collective need to avoid today? Four of Swords. Don't get too comfortable. Don't get too... Like I said, it could feel very good. It could feel like a very warm energy, but don't get too comfortable with it. We need to start taking some kind of action. Make sure that you really are closing out those old cycles so that you can start new. Four of Swords is like, it's kind of considered a wounded warrior. So it's that healing time after the pain of the Three of Swords. Really, again, just don't get too comfortable with it. Don't rest, I guess is what I'm saying here. Sometimes we need to get moving, and bottom of the deck is the Knight of Wands. So really, there is this underlying energy of feeling like you've got to do something, you've got to take care of something. We can't start new just yet, but we can start thinking about that and how we're going to start new starting tomorrow with this new moon. Clarifiers for the Ace of Pentacles, we have the World. That is closing out the old cycles, right? And the Nine of Pentacles, again, we're closing out the old cycles and readjusting our idea of abundance. Abundance does not have to be money and stuff and things. You don't need the giant bank account. You don't need the huge 401k. You don't need multiple properties. We need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to understanding what is truly important here, okay? Clarifiers for Death card. Clarifiers for the Death card, we have the Hermit. That is that inner searching kind of energy. And the Page of Wands. You might feel like kind of thrust, like forced into a healing moment, forced to look within here. You see how they're like going towards each other? Looking within to find your inner passions too. I've been pushing for a long time. If you've been watching for very long, you know that I have been pushing for a long time to find yourself without the influence of the world around you. What really lights you up? What really keeps you going? What really truly makes you happy? What are your hobbies? You know, it might be time for us to get back to actual hobbies. So we need to let those things end, and we need to start fresh as our true, authentic selves. Make sure that you're taking the time to find out who that is. Clarifiers for the Four of Swords. Clarifiers for the Four of Swords. I have a Six of Pentacles and Three of Wands. Is that three? Three of Wands. So, again, don't get too comfortable, right? Jupiter a lot of times will show up as like a beneficial person, like showing up in your life and being like, here, let me help you. You need some help. Let me be your partner. You need some money. You need a shoulder to cry on, whatever. This could really feel like your ship coming in type of thing, putting you in a space where you feel like you can just like rest and let your guard down. So really watch out for that. We still have that square happening to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. There will be people still trying to like tear you down under the guise of being helpful. People that are being helpful, but really just standing in your way of being able to grow. So really watch out for that. Don't let your guard down. Make sure you're listening to your intuition. And the bottom of the deck is Page of Cups. So there is possibly like offers coming in, offers of help, offers of emotional fulfillment, things like that coming your way. Make sure that you're, listening to your intuition, letting yourself be more divinely guided. Don't just rush into whatever feels comfortable.